Verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. That's what the Heavenly Father is doing right now. Well, in the modern day, this one is basically they're gearing up for war. But like the Lord saith, Lord Jehovah said, Matthew 24, he said, when thou shalt hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. It's not yet. Once you see them, look, I see already slowly but surely prophecy of, for example, Amos chapter 8, verse 11. I see it. I see the search engine disappearing and stuff like that. I talk about it. I've been talking about it for years. I'll show you with examples like, look. And I showed before everybody knew, but not before everybody knew. That's too much. But before a lot of people knew that I know. I was already showing that YouTube is deleting my comments if I put particular words. If I put the word Edomite, the comment is deleted. But the funny thing is, if I put Esau, the comment stays. It's crazy. I don't know. But the Edomites takes away the comment. So I thought that was funny. And now, once you do them, not now, a long time ago. But it's slowly and surely, Google ran out of words. That's one of the favorite things I say. Because Google means like a billion, gazillion, trillion zeros or whatever. And it is fast. But the search engine is getting tweaked. Just like how you can tweak your channel to allow certain words to be blocked and certain words to pass through. Or you can have a system to where if somebody comments, then they need approval for that comment to stay up on the comment section, right? So they have that in Google, but they don't need an actual person to chin check all those things because the software can do it for them because they program that software to do it and then it does it. And so when you type in cure for cancer, it doesn't work. But if you type this in, grapeseed extract, or just grapeseed, kills cancer cells, makes them commit suicide, and you don't have to put it that low, but I'm just telling you things. It says in makes them kill cells in 72 hours. You don't have to type all that in. Just type in grapeseed extract kills cancer. Type that in. You're gonna find it. And these, or mint tea from the leaves, mint leaves. Mint tea kills cancer and makes them commit suicide. They got the cure. But they're peddling bullshit. And Google is not going to help you because it has been programmed. Back in the days, it helped you because it wasn't, the software was not that sophisticated. The software was not that good. Not that good. Software wasn't that good. But anyway, let me go on. So it says right here, verse 5, Persia, Cush, and Libya, with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarma, of the north quarters. That north quarters is talking about the north of Israel, which is the north, you can kind of say north, west? No, northeast. Togarma, which are those people over there. But anyway, so it's above Hamath and on the side, Euphrates, those regions. That. So it says right here, verse 7, be thou a guard. Huh? Sorry. Verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company. Wow. Keeps on. page is flying about. And all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Right. That guard nowadays is going to be Russia eventually, you know. But the end is not yet, so they're preparing for it. They're preparing for it slowly. Actually, the Most High is preparing. What am I talking about? They ain't doing shit. They're just following basically what the Most High has allowed them to be able to do. And no, YouTube.
Hi.
The camera is on me actually.
Hi.
No, it's not on you. Oh.
Hello.
Oh, now it is. Yeah.
You right?
Yeah, it's cool. Right. So it says right here. What's that saying? I don't know what's that saying. Damn it. People love camera, boy. I'm telling you. What's that saying? Oh yeah, they're gonna protect them, you know. But nowadays, it's slowly but surely showing itself to come to that, as you can see the war going on over there in the Middle East. But the end is not yet. The RFID chip needs to come too. And you know what the thing is? If you, I'm not doing it, but I know that, you know, you have people that are in this truth and stuff like that, and they don't really know. So either I send them to Great Millstone or stuff like that. But if they ask me a question, I would explain to them like, listen, there's a few prophecies that need to come to pass also. Isaiah chapter 32, where it speaks about the daughters of Jacob that are going to be suffering. So many years and days, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless daughters. That needs to come to pass too. I don't really see him struggling, but you can see him here and there and here. But if you go outside of America, the women are not that bad as how they are in America, and in England, they're bad there too. Why? Because they model themselves after the American women. That's why when you have women here in Europe or any other land upon the planet Earth, that's why even Eddie Murphy made this joke back in the days, because I saw it. He said, don't let your new wife hang around these American women, because they're going to teach her things. Even the scripture said, not even the scripture said, but loose from that, the scripture said, teach not your wife an evil lesson against thyself. Even if it's scriptural, don't teach her because because she's going to use it against you. She's going to use it against you. You know? I've seen a few funny things happening. That's why I already expected. But yeah. So it says right here, Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 8. But yeah. Oh yeah. That prophecy. The prophecy needs to come to pass. There's many more. The RFID chip is really the last thing. Famine of the word. But like I said, it's slowly but surely getting there. Because I saw it, I seen it, I noticed it. You know, like I said, I'm making videos so with the screen capture. So I go through, you know, YouTube and stuff like Google, and then I type in things. Like the conquistador thing, it's gone. You can't find it, man. I know what I'm talking about. But that's why I save all these pictures, so I can just grab it up and show the picture what I mean. Because the picture is 1,000 words, right? Whatever. And the video is 100,000 words, right? But now, a picture doesn't mean shit anymore. And the video damn sure don't mean shit no more. Well, you can still see it to a certain degree. If you see that the screen is altered with a filter on it, you can obviously see the filter. You can't really trust it like that. That's why I always hated filters before the AI thing. But I had no idea about the AI thing, that it could fake it like that. But nowadays, if I see a video with a filter, all these sprinkles and sparkles, I already think like, okay, why you do that? So, and sometimes it's real people that actually do it. So what did Esau create? He created a whole world full of lies. Why? Because that AI thing is gonna fake so many people. Man, I saw a video of a Down syndrome chick on OnlyFans. I didn't know it was fake. I looked at it a few times. I was like, damn, what the is this happening to the women? And I made a video about it. And then a few days after that, I found out that that thing was actually real. And yeah, I still put it in the description box. No, not the description box, the comment section, and I explained like, yo, but I didn't talk long about it. I only talk live. Oh no, man.
How are you?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
I don't understand. You pray also for the God.
yeah.
For Jesus Christ. Why you don't pray in the country now? Also what is doing God also? I don't understand. God, you don't like this is style now.
Right. So it says right here. So it says right here. Right. Okay. Anyway. Now it says right here. What was I saying again? Oh yeah. So I wrote it down like, but I didn't go deep in it. I just said like, look, this is even happening right now, because it was a video about how the future mothers of the Edomites are. The future mothers of Esau are the OnlyFans girls and stuff like that. And I was also poking fun at their education system, which is everything is crashing. Even the Moabites and Ammonites, when they come to these type of countries, they're trying to excel and stuff like that, right? Because they came from a struggling place, you know, but they don't teach you that. But once they're here, then they start to relax. And then the generation after that, they're still hard workers because they listen to their parents. That's the first generation. And then the second generation, you know, they're more comfortable because their parents been working, they have a soft life. And then the fourth generation, now that one is the one that's going to start to want to do things Esau way. Like have freedom, not listen to your parents, rebel against your parents. Because that means that they took on the mantle of Esau. You got Moabite girls, the fourth generation nowadays, talking about, you know, I had my whole face in them Fred Boys places and stuff like that in college. I'm like, damn, the shit that I hear coming out their mouth, white chicks ain't even saying shit like that. Well, actually, they do. But I mean, like seeing her like that, it's what? That's not even normal. And when they laugh, they don't put their hand in front of their mouth, because that's some shit that they do there. You know how they are? They're laughing and then they put their hand in front of their mouth and stuff like that. That's a custom, because they taught them women over there that a woman that laughs with her mouth open, you can see her mouth and stuff like that, that's not a good woman. That's what they teach and stuff. But you know, them girls in the United States, the Moabite chicks and them Ammonite chicks and them Korean chicks, when they laugh, their hand is not in front of their mouth. So you already know what's really going down. They ain't their whole face. But anyway, let me go on. Verse 8. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have which have been always waste. The governments of Israel, we've been wasted. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. That's what we're doing right now. We're being gathered from all the corners, the four corners of the world, into Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And many of those men will be uncircumcised in the flesh and not knowing this truth. And once they're in this truth, just like how it was written, that once they were in this truth, then they received the covenant, not covenant, but then they received the law of circumcision, you know? Because that's how it goes. You don't come with the law up in this truth, you come with faith. You believe in it. So once you're in it, and then you're going to keep the law, because then it will be introduced unto you. You know what I'm saying? It says it right there in Galatians 3, and then also in Romans 4. Because when somebody else reads the books of Paul, they get confused. They don't know what is being written. It's what should I do? Should I do it or should I not do it? The point is this: the day of just a great example. The Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement is a day where back in the days you had the high priest come and then forgive all the sins of the entire nation of Israel, and then we had to fast, and then the high priest would do certain things and stuff like that, right? Okay, cool. And then we would be forgiven for that whole year, for all of our sins and stuff like that, right? For example, right? But nowadays, Yahushua is that day of atonement. The word mercy seat means atonement. And he's the one that is actually the mercy seat. Yahushua. Back in the days, between the mercy seat and so on the mercy seat is the two angels. And between those two cherubims, these two angels, there the Most High was talking to you. So what does that represent? It represents that the Lord Yahushua is the mediator to whom he's the middleman to whom you can talk to, the Most High. You know? But when the Most High makes a covenant with you by bringing you into this truth, well, I don't want to say he doesn't use a mediator. He doesn't need a mediator. But he does use other people to get you in this truth. Whether you hear it on YouTube, whether you hear it just randomly on the street, you're going to get into it. You're going to hear something. My sheep shall hear my voice, the Lord saith. The Lord Yahushua saith. And therefore, when you hear it, you're going to be like, oh, what you say? What you say about my mama? So you're going to be interested. You're going to go for it. What you say about my mama? You're not going to let it go. Just like Cain didn't want to let it go in Menace Society. He didn't want to let it go. Let it go, let it go. He didn't want to let it go. What you say about my mama? Well, that's how the sheep of the Lord is going to be. Because they're not going to let it go. They heard it one time. And some sheep might even hear it today. And then 5 years later, come up in this truth. You know, because that's how it works. It works in different and mysterious ways. You might not, that's why a lot of times, me personally, I don't really get angry at people concerning the scriptures and stuff like that. You do have people that you know, they spark, yeah, all they need to do is sneeze. I'm already, I don't like you. You know? But other people, they do their little dumb shit. And I'm looking at them like, it don't bother me. Certain people, I hate your guts. Just sneeze. Motherfucker. You know? All the bacteria and shit. But other people, you know, I don't hate them like that, man. It's just a special thing. Certain people are special to me. Can't stand everybody. Because I see something. That's the type of shit that I don't like. Anyway, so Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be a cloud to cover the land. And that's the same thing that's going to happen in the 2nd Ezra chapter. Let me get it for you. Where did I put that one? Where's my oil? Where's my phone, bro? Let me. Oh, yeah. Huh? Let me see something, man. 2nd Ezra 16, I think. Where is it again? I forgot. 2nd Ezra 16 or 15? Sorry. Sorry. It says, how does it go again? Oh yeah. Got it. Okay. So it says right here, 2nd Ezra's 15. 2nd Ezra's 15. And let me see. 30. 2nd Ezra's 15:30. Also the Carmenians, those are Elam. Also the Carmenians, the Iran. Also the, am I moving? I'm moving. Also the Carmenians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boar of the woods. And with great power they shall come and join battle with them, with the dragons of Arabia. and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So back in the days, they actually did do that. Elam got together with Ishmael, and they fought against the Assyrians, and they destroyed them, a big portion of them. And they had the upper hand in that time. And nowadays, it's basically talking about Esau. He's now, in this chapter, he is the modern day Assyrian. In other chapters, he's the modern day Babylon. In other chapters, he's the modern day Nineveh. In other chapters, he's the modern day Mizraim, which is Egypt. In other chapters, he's the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, stuff like that. Verse 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Right? Verse 32. Then these shall be troubled bled. Then these shall be troubled bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them. Sorry? And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them. And in their host shall they be fear and dread, and strive among their kings. Let me read it again. And in their host shall be fear and dread, and strive among their kings. They're going to be afraid. They're going to be afraid within themselves. Even their king's going to be like, hey, shit, we should have never started this fight. Verse 34. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. So, that's how the army is going to come in those days. And in these days, let me say it again. That's how the army came in those days. And in these days, it's going to come like an army again, like a cloud, a dust cloud. Because back in the days, if you had the army coming up on you, what you would see is in the farth, you would see a dust cloud of the horses and the men walking on that dirt road, because they didn't have no asphalt or stone pavement and stuff like that. They had that shit back in the days. People just walked on grass and roads that they just digged out, or even roads that you continually walk upon, and then you walk upon it so many times that it doesn't grow grass anymore. So that becomes the road, you know, back in the days. Right. Now it says here, Ezekiel 38, verse 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Right? Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. That's what it's talking about in 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I forgot which verse. I just read it. 40 on down. Right. 2nd Ezra 15, 40 on down, if I'm correct. What was it, 30? None mind. Sorry, man, my mouth is dry. Right, so it says right here, right? No, it says, and all thy bands and many people with thee. Let me read it again. So Ezekiel 38 and 10. No, 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. And that's exactly the same thing that's going to happen today. Esau is going to be covered up, boy. Because them Ishmaelites and the Elamites, they're going to get together, and they're going to do it under the banner of their Islam, and they're going to go against Esau under the banner of his flying reindeers and stuff like that, because he don't believe in the Lord. He believes in flying reindeers and bunnies that lay eggs under that banner, and then they're going to fight against each other. And Esau think with all his fancy weapons that he's going to have the upper hand. We shall see. Because the dragons of Arabia and the wild boars of Elam, in particular the Carmenians, because you have different Elam people they're kind of timid and soft, but you have them rowdy motherfuckers, boy. You got them rowdy. They're almost like Ishmaelites, but not truly, because Ishmaelites they're different. But these are rowdy people. The Elam people, they're kind of rowdy too, especially for their god. Once they get together and stuff like that, they want to kill you for it. So they're rowdy on that part. But yeah, once they get together, and they don't have no riot gear, you know, they ain't got that. They ain't got that. They wear normal, regular ass clothing, and they swift. If you watch them not documentaries, but them interviews of people that went into Iraq and Afghanistan. Type in Google, type in YouTube. If I remember it, I'll type it for you. Let me type it now so that I don't forget it, because I will 100%. So yeah. So this was a U.S. Army guy thing from the military. It was a jig, but he went over there and he was talking about how that when he was in Afghanistan, they was tough as shit, man. There was some skinny dudes that had stamina beyond your imagination. They're not packing a lot of weight, but they killers, and they was very strong to beat. That's what he said, man. They were strong to beat. Not Iraq, Afghanistan. Like I said, I wrote the video down. The name, I didn't write the name. I wrote something, scribble, so that when I look at it, I'd be like, oh, that was what I was talking about. But yeah, he said that they was tough, and they used to do invades in the houses and stuff like that, and they saw some Bachabasi shit, man. If you know what that is, type it in, Bachabasi, which is BACHA, and then space bar, and then BAZI, Bachabasi. It's basically Nambla. That's what they're doing over there too. I'm not making it up. Nambla, you know that shit? North American Boy Love Association, something like that. Well, that's what they do there in Afghan. And they man, and even though they was doing that, he said there was some tough guys. And that made me think of the Canaanites. When we went over there to go battle them, they was doing the same thing too. And then, once we stepped away from Yahweh, we could not beat them. Bunch of fucking kitty porn sons of bitches, worshiping devils, sacrificing children. You'd be like, man, they're gonna be easy for the kill. No, they're not. They got Satan on them, boy. So Satan be helping them, man. Straight up. They got Satan on them, man. Be helping them. So once we stepped away from the Most High, we lost. You can't fight that. But once you with Yahweh Bashem Yashai, you'll beat the shit out of them. But step away from the Most High, you're not gonna beat them. You know, because they do rituals and stuff like that. Boy, Satan got their back, boy. You ain't gonna beat him. What's up? You ain't gonna beat him. You can't, because he's the power of this earth. Satan. You know, but anyway, and he gave them power, so therefore you're not gonna beat them. Let me go on. Now it says right here, first Ezekiel 38 and 10. Thus saith Yahweh the power. It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. The Most High is going to put it in their spirit when they're going to think an evil thought, and they're going to want to attack these unwalled villages. Europe, America, and all that there, you know. But it's probably in their mind right now, but they're probably, because they're more righteous than Esau, you know. Why? Because they could have bombed Israel. They could have bombed all these places that are enemies unto them, near unto them. They could have bombed them a long time ago. They didn't. Because I think, first and foremost, the Most High didn't put that spirit on them. Second, what I think is that they themselves don't want to kill innocent people. And I'm not saying that they're good people. The Arabs are not, because they hate Jake too. So fuck them. Just to get it out there. But they don't want to kill innocent people by dropping bombs on them. Dropping bombs on them. You know, that's what I think in the physical form. But through the spirit, I know that the Most High didn't put it in their minds. Because Revelation chapter 17 shows you, until they have fulfilled my will, which I will put into their minds. Revelation 17 shows you that. And also Job chapter 33:15, which shows you that the Most High control is in your mind. Proverbs 21:1, which says that I am in the minds of the kings. You know? I make them do what I want, when I want. So, 11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and have neither bars nor gates. Yeah, you can just waltz in. That's why they complaining about America doesn't have a wall, because it's a wall of an unwalled village. They don't have any. And if you look at it, the world, it doesn't really have it. You know, they got border patrols and stuff like that. They don't have a wall, you know. But back in the days, people did have walls around their cities because bandits came. And you didn't have like the worldwide magistracy. When done in the book of Joshua 19 and also Judges 18, when done went to go take Laish, they also called it Lashem. When he went to go take that place, there was only Sidonians there. So they looked around if they would see a magistrate, because it literally said that the magistrate would put them to shame, because it was the Sidonians and they were fucking warriors, man. you couldn't beat them, you know. You couldn't beat them, you know, and they knew it. So it says they themselves said, let's spy out the land, if there be any magistrates of the Sidonians, of course, if there be any magistrates that would put us to shame. And they didn't find it, so they slaughtered them all, because there was some peace-loving Sidonians. Like I said, not all the not all of certain people are warrior types. You literally have certain tribes, and within them tribes, you still have soft people. That's why the Most High said that the most feeble of y'all shall be like David. So that shows you that we did have feeble among us. And you know, not every Jacob descendant is good in basketball or football or whatever like that and stuff like that. They're not really good in that, you know. But they're good in other things. You know, they're good in other things. You know, they got their blessing and stuff like that. But not every Jacob descendant is a sprinter, like how he can run fast. You know, stuff like that. Anyway, so Ezekiel 38 and 12, to take the spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. Let me jump down to verse 20. No, let me see. Verse 18. No, I started 17. Thus saith Yahweh the power. Art thou he of whom I have spoken in old times by my servant the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days, many years, that I would bring thee against them. Going on. And it shall come to pass at the same time, when Gog shall come against the land of Israel. So, if you read the book of Zechariah chapter 14, you will see that eventually the Most High saith, and I will cause all nations to come and fight against Jerusalem. So, just because Gog and Magog is fighting them and stuff like that, don't think that they're not going to come and fight us, man. You need to understand that. Zechariah 14 shows you that. So, going on. And it shall come to pass. Okay, saith Yahweh, that my fury shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Jacob. Why? Because the Most High is going to, well, it's going to say, next verse, it's going to be a shaking. Back in the days, it was war, battles and war, or garments dipped in blood. But nowadays, it's going to be another shaking. It's actually going to be a shaking of the land when the bombs start dropping. I remember that stupid song. I hated it. Bombs on Baghdad or something like that from these clowns, outcasts. I found that stupid shit. I was like, what you fighting for Esau for? I'm damn sure not with Baghdad, but I'm damn sure not with Esau. Why you make a dumb song like that? Dropping bombs on Baghdad. I was never down with that shit. Never down with that. Because I thought it was stupid. I was like, what are you doing that for? Well, whose side you with? You're really with Esau. He's going to show you. As a matter of fact, he did. That's why you don't see Andre no more. You only see the other guy. You know? They probably did stuff to Andre to where he don't want to come out no more in the eyes of the public. He's like, nah, I'm done with the famousness. I'm in the background now. Yeah? He probably wishes that he was in the background more often. You know? Because they put him in some flamboyant ass clothing and he wanted to wear it in the first place. You know? Probably was in a contract or something. I don't know. Because they can't dress you. Famine said that. He said that they was dressing him and he didn't want he didn't want to dress like how they wanted him to dress. He said that they made him dye his hair yellow. You know? And he didn't want that. Eminem said it. He didn't want it. But he was forced because of the contract. And he had to do it. you want that money? I'm going to fine you. You know? And he probably didn't want to lose money. You know? So let me read a few last verses here. Because, like I said, we in that time right now. And I'm going to read the Zechariah too. Because now you see them fighting each other and stuff like that. You best beware. Be alert of it, I should say. That those fighters are going to come toward us. So, at the end. Because the Most High is going to make it. So Ezekiel 38, verse 20. So that the fishes of the sea, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the field, and all creeping things that creep upon the earth, and all men that are upon the face of the earth, shall shake at my presence. And the mountains shall be thrown down, which are the governments. But you can kind of call it to the physical mountains too once that nuclear bomb kicks. Look, when it happened back then, it was no nuclear bomb, of course. It was just, you can kind of say a figure of speech. The Most High said, I'm going to shake my hand. You don't see him shaking his hand. He just destroys, you know? When the Most High said, when the Most High says, I will send my right hand upon him, that's not the right hand of the Most High, but it is the right hand because it's the army of the Most High. He is the army. I have commanded the armies of the earth. Isaiah 45 and also Jeremiah 34. He commands them. When the Jacob descendants sin, he sends evil our way. When the evil kings sin, he sends evil their way by means of another kingdom or another kingdoms or by the Israelites. You know? The Most High does that. He pays you back. So it says, shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. So, all these governments, the Most High is going to flatten them. Let me get that last one. All these governments, the Most High is going to flatten them. Did you know that I actually forgot to buy a new standard? I forgot, literally 7 days, but funny as hell. I got to go to the store after this one also. Because I need to buy a new standard, you know, or else I'm not going to be able to, Lord willing, how can I say that? You know, I need the standard. But anyway, Zechariah chapter... Zechariah chapter 14. I was thinking. Zechariah 14. So, just as how The Most High said that was it Tubal or Meshach is going to come and fight us eventually, right? Well, just because they're fighting each other now doesn't mean that the Carmenians and the Ishmaelites, the dragons of Arabia, and the Carmenians, of Elam, just because they're fighting the modern day Assyrians right now, which is Esau, doesn't mean that they're not going to fight Jacob. You should know. Just keep that in mind. Zechariah 14:1. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. And what is the spoil that we had back in those days? Deuteronomy 6, verse 9. Was it 9? 10. Deuteronomy 6 and 10. So it says, and it shall be, when Yahweh thy power shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things, which thou fillest not, and wells digged, which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees, which thou plantest not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full. Those are the spoils that we had, among others, because we did take other nations their stuff, because they was being wicked. So the Most High allowed us to go out there and do them harm. Just like with the Canaanites. The Most High waited 400 years, because he says in Genesis 15, until the sins of the Amorite be fulfilled. So the Most High was planning to destroy them after 400 years, because 400 years long they was doing Leviticus 18 and Leviticus 20. They was doing that for 400 years. 400 years they was doing that. So the Most High was like, oh, once I set up my people, then we gonna come and take that land, because you're sinning in that land, and the land is gonna spew you out. But he allowed them to do their little thing for 400 years, just like how he allowed Esau to do his little thing for more than 400 years, more than 500 years even, because it started in 1941. It started before that, but 42. Sorry, now what? Sorry. 1492. It started before that, but that's when they landed on America. So that's when you could kind of say that's when it officially really started. But before that, they already had wars in Europe with the Jakes and stuff like that, kicking them out of certain places, Spain, Portugal, but not collectively all of them. It was like little portions and stuff like that, They was kicking them out of the lands in portions. Anyway, Zechariah 14:1. Zechariah 14:1. It says, behold, the day cometh, saith Yahweh. The day of Yahweh cometh, sorry. And thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. All the things that we had, which we took from heathen nations when they sinned. And then when we sinned, they took from us, but you stole from the holy ones. So you're going to get that ass exterminated, Esau. So it says right here, verse 2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. Who did that? The Most High. And why does he do that? He hates your guts. For example, when the Israelites sinned, right? In the book of 2 Samuel 24 and somewhere in Chronicles. In Chronicles it says Satan came in David's head to make him count the Israelites. But in 2 Samuel 24 it said, and the children of Israel sinned before Yahweh, and he moved David to count them. Why? Because he was going to kill them through David. Oh boy, it's crazy. He could have just killed them. He could have just sent the angel and killed them right then and there. No, he had to do it dramatically. Put some story up in it, because they were sinning. That's why. Verse 2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravaged. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity. That already happened. So this is what I'm reading already happened, but it's going to happen again. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. Now, the funny part is, we're getting to that. Yahweh Ratazah. It already happened back then, but it's going to happen again. in the time right now. But Lord willing, sorry. It's like them little dust particles coming in my eyes and stuff like that. Then I can feel it. They're gathering up in the corners. Some dust particles. Anyway, that's how you get shit in your eye. All of a sudden, it's like a clump. It's them fucking particles. But anyway, so as I was saying, start saying it again. Yeah. The Most High is the one that's going to allow these heathen nations to come and fight against Jacob, man. And the rest, because you're a piece of shit. Because you're a piece of shit, the Most High is going to allow these heathen nations to come. And when they do come with that war, because you didn't want to listen, you're going to get taken away with the sword and die in your sins. Because you didn't want to listen in the first place. When we told you, like, you're the Israelites, didn't want to listen. No, the Lord is for everybody. Really? Not even Esau believed that shit. His first teachings was only Edomites could make it in the kingdom. That was his first teachings. You know, ain't no KKK member gonna allow you to sit in the midst of them. Even in his so-called heaven. Do you think that the KKK that were teaching the Bible, do you think that the conquistadors that was teaching the Bible, do you think that they would want your dumbass up in there? Do you really think that? That was their first teaching, so they switched their own teachings. They changed it. You know? They changed their own definitions, their own teachings that they had back in the days. And now everybody could be accepted. That was not the case. I do remember that when they went to the Native American, there was a man, I forgot his name, but he said, so before they killed them, murdered them, I should say, they made their Edomite kitty fucking priest, they made him come, and then he asked them like, do you want to be baptized or something like that before your death and go to heaven? And then the Native American, Gadite, he asked them, and he said, will you be that? So, because he said, because they was teaching him like, so the Gadites, you know, he was on his knees. They put him there in order to chop his head off, basically, to kill him. And then he said, do you want to get something baptized before you die? Then you can go to heaven. And then he asked the caucus. He asked them like, so will you white people be there? He didn't say white people. He said, will your race be there? You know, you caucus. Because white, it didn't call them white. But anyway, pale. I think he said pale. Something like that. But yeah. And he said, yeah, they will be. Then he said, well, fuck it, I'd rather go to hell then, you know? So under those conditions, then they would accept you in death. But to sit in their midst, in their congregation, they would not accept you. How is that even possible? On the earth, as it is in heaven, so shall it be upon the earth, right? On the earth, they don't accept you to sit in their midst. But when you die, then you are allowed to be sitting in their midst, because then you will be accepted. How stupid is that? So for all you Jacob descendants that believe that garbage, what's up? Come on. Because all you Jacob descendants that believe that garbage, well, if you get got by it, you got. And why don't you roll up your sleeve once they're going to come. All you people that rolled up your sleeves, 5 years, and you're gone. And if you go on BitChute and you type in that thing, you know, rolling up his sleeves and stuff like that, and you see what happened to them, boy, I saw people die very painfully, man, from diseases that, what the scripture says, man, like unwritten diseases like never heard before, man. You got dudes growing hair on their tongue and stuff like that, choking because the hair is choking them out. Suffering, man. Suffering. Many type of things, man. You got skin diseases, which is another form of leprosy that was just beyond you, and you'd be like, ah, damn, just looking at him, his skin peeling. Whoa. It's fucked up shit. But anyway, so with that, I'm gonna give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh, Bahashem Adawak Badash, double honors unto the elder apostles, the great millstone. For the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. And shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Shalom. Cool cat.